You guys know what time it is, Final Fantasy 16. Multiple characters have different beasts, or one can say icons within them. These characters are called dominants. Dominants are beings that hold mythical beasts inside of them. They can channel it with enough training, but it does take a toll. One of the mightiest beings is this being known as Barnabas, or one could say Odin. He has the beast being Odin inside of him, and he can channel his power when he wishes. Let's get it. I mean, we guys know Clive is the main character, so we know Clive is the man. And the fact that Clive has multiple beasts' power inside of him, or he can use their power at will. There was this being known as Odin, right, that actually gave Clive some serious issues and can generate darkness. He's the Warden of Darkness. You see how they did that there? Like, you know how different characters can use their different elements depending on their creature. Fire, ice, lightning, light, earth, stone, wind. Odin is darkness. You see what I'm saying? You see how they did that there? Everybody has their own element. Even though these two have the same element, you get it? Barnabas, just like the other powerful beings, other dominants in this universe, he can transform. When you kind of transform, it's called semi-priming, but when you fully transform into your beast within yourself, it's called priming. Of course, Barnabas, or one could say Odin, can do this too, because Odin and Barnabas are one and the same. You got his base look, base form, but then you got him semi-priming his powered up state. Then you got his all the way powered up state where he looks freaking epic. Just to give you a perspective of how big he can get when he transforms. I mean, he was normal human size, but when he transforms, he's like a literal giant. Looks like he's as tall as a building on a horse. Look how small Clive looks, the main character, in comparison. The size difference. When it comes to the things that he specializes in, one of the main things he specializes in is this freaking sword that Clive, the main character, would eventually get. If you want to get an idea of how crazy his sword is, when he's powered up like this, he can make his sword ridiculously long to where it's like triple his own height. Yeah, it's a gigantic sword, so when he's really trying to cut you up, you about to die. Just to give you some lore or writer intent on how strong these beings can strike, his duel with Bahamut shook the skies. Just to give you an idea of his cutting power in his base state, with this sword he can just produce, he can cut buildings up like that instantly with one swipe. It's obvious he can cut through buildings in his base form. Is obviously when he's powered up in his giant mode, he can. That's like easy. Or giant structures to slice it up. That's why you see occasions like this, he slices up thick structures with one slice. Notice how he's in his base form. He can just summon it at will. This sword is ridiculously powerful. Even if you try to take them all on at the same time, he just takes out the whole room with one swipe, that easy. Even compared to other mystical beasts, he seems to be way on another level, to the point where even the main character Clive was having serious issues with him. In sword combat, he was even toying with Clive. Anybody that can slug it with Clive, the main character, and make him look pathetic without even powering up all the way, it's pretty impressive. You can tell he's holding back. You can just see it. He's not even using both his hands, by the way. Got him by the neck. I just want you to see how much he was holding back against Clive. This is like not even his sword. Throws this sword away, but this is actually the real overpowered sword when he's trying to get serious. He even powered up his kick, sliced them from far away, depowering him, winning against him, the main character. He even bested Clive here, and Clive was defeated. It's even stated here in the lore that he bested Clive, the main character. That's the whole reason why she had to give Clive her power to help him out. One can say he might have a slight advantage over some of the other creatures, because even Shiva technically got defeated while he was technically in his base form without even really powering up. So let you know he's pretty high up there on the food chain. Shiva blasted him and he just slashed it through all the ice, and one could say one-shotted her. This happened off screen, but it appears he one-shot her because off screen she was captured and you see she was in a cell after that scene. So it looks like he defeated her. This is impressive because we've seen Titan and Shiva, two other icon beast beings, battle each other, and it was a pretty decent fight, long and extended. We've seen what happened with Shiva and Titan do to the environment as they fight as collateral. The only real losers is the people nearby, honestly, because their attacks clash with one another. We've seen how she can withstand attacks from him and stay conscious, but Odin one-shotted her, apparently, and he can do all of this to the ground. Like, you can see the collateral of them fighting, causing the whole place to have an earthquake. It lets you know how Shiva is, and she's fighting him, and they're doing all of this to the ground as they're fighting. Boom. You see what I mean? I think it's apparent he could easily slice apart a mountain, tremble it with his punches, blah, blah, blah. I mean, heck, we've seen other icon beast level beings like Titan about to get crushed in the mountain. He opens it up with his strength. Just Titan fighting somebody can threaten the entire kingdom or area or place they have a dominion over. Or their fight will shake the very island to its foundation, which is believable considering what we've seen them do. Hey, when it comes to Odin, in his lore, they straight up state that when Barnabas, aka the dominant of Odin, fought another icon, their battle shook the skies. Can someone explain to me how the heck do you shake the sky? He's like known for his blade and cutting power in this game. They even said his blade cannot sever. Other characters like Joshua in the lore said Odin's sword can sever the very threads of creation. I mean, his cutting power is so crazy. This is something you see a lot, is where he can slash stuff where he's not even near the bullcrap, so you know its slicing power is crazy. One could say this is like a mixture of his energy projection and his sword. Clashing swords with the dominant of the Phoenix. In this occasion here, it stated here that he was toying around with Joshua, and he's a beast icon level being, so that's to let you know how strong Odin is. Even when Joshua blasted him, he was able to deflect it like that. When he powers all the way up into his ultimate mode, one could say his most impressive feat in the entire game is when he slashed with so much power that it split the seas right down the middle. And when we say split the seas, we legitly mean split the seas. Like, it was a big crater and the water kind of just stayed even though it was split. I think when you can slice this much water, you can definitely slice a city apart. I mean, it was deep in there when he sliced it and Clive and them were down there. They even reiterated, they're talking about Odin split the sea in two. It's even stated in the game's lore, it's not my opinion, it's not us weirdly interpreting it. It says his black blade is said to be sharp enough to split the very seas. So his slicing power can literally split the freaking seas down the middle. And then you got moments like this where Odin puts a gigantic shield around a big chunk of the area. Yeah, big shield around the whole castle. It was Odin's doing when he's powered up like this. When he was like in his weakened form, like one could say semi-prime, when he's not all the way primed up, he could still do damage to all the way primed up, being like the main character Ifrit, for example. He could still use his sword and still damage him, despite him not being all the way powered up. So it lets you know he's still strong as heck to do that to Ifrit. But you got to respect Barnabas. You got to respect Barnabas. Warden of Darkness, Odin, whatever you want to call him, King Barnabas. You got to respect him and that black blade. What do you guys think of him, though? How strong do you think he is? Do you think if he wanted to, could he slice the entirety of Valisthea continent or the two continents? I mean, there were overpowered creatures like Bahamut when he was amped up to state he was going to burn the world. So Odin might be able to if we assume he's stronger than this amped up Bahamut. But is he stronger than this amped up Bahamut? When he was amplified by the mother crystals, stronger than normal, way beyond belief? This would change the game. Maybe his sword slashes can tremble the continents of Valisthea or the world. Or do you think he could cut the moon or a nice chunk or a nice big portion of the moon? What do you think he can delete? I want to hear your opinions are more than welcome. Do you respect this ridiculously powerful being? But before I get going, I got to say thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps out a lot. Respect Barnabas or Odin. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.